Got one.
Okay, can you send me the link so I can sign in to look at the watch list? I ain't giving up on you.
The sound was nice.
That is really nice.
Have you started the stream?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm good to go whenever.
You can go.
Okay. So 6:23, we're opening the Wildlife Management Advisory Commission regular meeting for June 15th. All members are here and accounted for other than Mr. Bippert, and Mr. Sullivan's on the line, so I think we've got everybody who's still with us. Oh, and Shannon's here too, sorry. I just put you in different spots. Okay, gotcha. So yeah, I think we're just missing Mr. Bippert, correct? Yes. Okay. Pledge of allegiance, real quick.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, citizens comment period. I don't believe we have anyone in attendance today. I don't believe anybody signed up. So I think we're good to move on to business items. I'm looking for an approval on the minutes of January 27th, which was our last meeting, 2020. Looking for a motion to approve those minutes.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes from January the 27th, 2020.
Second.
So I've got a motion to approve the minutes. I've got a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any, I'm losing my train of thought here. Any noes? Okay. That one passes. That motion passes, sorry. All right, so discussion on wildlife reports and updates. Wildlife and wildlife incidents within the city of Garden Ridge. Anybody want to discuss that? Anything that y'all saw that stood out to you?
Well, one thing, the deer accidents killed by vehicles have really gone down this year. With 17, 18, then 8, 6, and 9, that's really a drastic drop, and I think it also speaks to the fact there were fewer people on the road during those months. So that's the only thing I really saw.
Yeah, and just to be clear, the 8, 6, and 9 that you pointed out, 4 of those in March were via vehicle, 4 of those in April were via vehicle collision, and looks like 2 in May were vehicle.
Vehicle. The rest were all
Yes, just to clarify.
yes, either
Which is-
natural or predator.
Yes. Total, we had 8, 6, and 9, which is good. Anybody else have anything?
No.
Okay. B2 oak wilt within the city of Garden Ridge.
Take that one.
Okay.
We do have a current outbreak of oak wilt. Texas Forest Service has been working with us on it. It involves City Park, a residence on Sorrel that backs up to some residences on Sumac Cove. So we do have a total of 5 properties involved. We are working with the Forest Service on the trench location and working, getting some proposals currently on trenching and working with the property owners to get the state funding to help assist with the trenching, as well as, of course, as the city has an Oak Wilt Fund to help with the trenching as well. So that is in progress right now.
Okay, great. Mike? Sorry. Yep. Another one. The one with the big arrows pointing. There you go. That was not sarcasm.
So with Oak Wilt, then that's the responsibility of the city to take care of that and not the property owners?
No, the property owners are involved in it. They have to, if they have any trees that need to be treated, that is their responsibility. But the state does have a cost-sharing program for trenching, as well as the city has a program to assist with trenching.
To assist with the
Yes.
trenching then? Okay.
Yes. This is believed to be a breakthrough from the last incident we had.
And when was that last incident?
About a year ago, year and a half ago.
What do you mean by breakthrough? I'm not familiar with
It broke through the trench line,
Oh.
apparently.
Got it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Any other discussion around Oak Wilt? All right. B3, Wildlife Management Advisory Commission activity and projects. So updated commissioners' activities and projects. I know that we've got, I don't believe we have anything outstanding necessarily. I know we did not, I don't think we have anything anybody's working on currently, right? I know it's been 5-ish months, so if you were working on something, it may have changed or you may have forgotten about it. So is there anything, I guess we can talk about that you want to add it to the next month's deal, but think about if you do want to take on something, or if there's something that we have neglected and we need to pick up on, we can talk about it.
May I speak?
Yeah.
I am the liaison with the Parks and Wildlife Commission, and I've been in contact with Ben Carson, who is our new biologist. And he's fairly new to the park system, and he said that a lot of things were down with COVID this summer, obviously, but they're getting back out and trying to get caught up. The biggest thing they have going on right now is trapping and banding doves. So he is, and that doesn't affect us directly, but that's just something that they're working on right now. He is interested. I asked him about coming up, and I'm going to arrange a meeting with him up at the office there, because I haven't been up there. But he also said that he would like to come down to the Garden Ridge area, because he hasn't been down here yet. So I'm wondering if perhaps at our next meeting we could have him as a speaker, of just updating what the biologist is and what he's doing, and introducing himself, since he's new.
Why are they banding and tracking the white-winged doves?
They help to monitor the dove population's survival rate. It's
Okay.
a U.S.-wide program.
Yeah, because we still do it on Randolph quite a bit for the bird strikes, but I didn't realize it was U.S.-wide.
Yeah, it is with doves anyway.
Hmm.
Yeah. So we can consider that if we want to do that for the educational session, is inviting him to come speak with us.
That sounds good. And then I think we could, while he's here, we can hit him up on helping us with deer counts potentially in the fall. So that sounds good. Okay. Any other discussions on 3?
Should, just
Go
for a point of clarification with that, should I go ahead and invite him to come and speak then?
Yeah, if we can.
I'll send the invitation.
Yeah, and then you can work it
courtesy
out
of
with Nancy on adding it to the agenda if he does confirm.
Okay.
Okay. Any other comments, questions, concerns around 3, 1, 2, or 3, or I, whatever? No? Okay. Moving on. Number 4, meeting updates, items applicable to the Wildlife Management Advisory Commission discussed at City Council all of February and June. I assume there probably wasn't a lot talked about, but I'll could defer? Nothing significant. I didn't think there would be. Okay.
The only thing in June was the city council did accept Chairman Segovia's resignation from the Wildlife Commission.
So we have, yeah. Yeah, it was later. That's all good. We can touch on it now if we want to. Might as well. So city council did accept Chairwoman Segovia's resignation as of the June city council meeting.
With
and that-
regret.
With regret, that's correct. And I guess I am now the acting chairman, and I guess we have some plans in the future down this list to discuss that going forward. Anything else we need to discuss?
No.
City council wise? Okay. All right, so C, recommendations, feral hog management, discuss status and make recommendations related to, if needed, feral hog management.
On feral hogs, over the weekend, there was one home that was hit in George Ranch. I've called Mr. Loman today. He's going to check the yard for the damage that was done, and he's going to reactivate the trap in George Ranch, the big pen. He's going to bait it and restart the game cameras so he can catch them, and we can get the ones that are coming in. I had a resident in George Ranch call. They say he spotted 15 to 20 over on the school side on the fence, right along where Saul's put in a water line and elevated the drainage out of one of our detention ponds, and it catches water right there, which makes it not nice. So I've talked to Mr. McCullough from the school to see if they can, once they get total occupancy of that school, get a backhoe in there and drain that area to where it'll run across and won't collect water there, so we won't have a source for a freshwater source for another pond. And we are going to rework the detention pond on Senna Hills that trap is in, to where it'll drain out better. It won't catch water right there, and they won't have a little pond or little area where it's really going to be wet and moist for them to wallow in. So hopefully that'll help drain it and make it less attractive to the hogs to come in. We may even have to put some concrete in front and back where it may help make them deter them a little bit.
Okay.
But that's all I have for feral hogs.
So I know that we have some funds potentially left over from deer management this year, or maybe those have been reallocated at this point. I don't know. But I know that we had earmarked some funds for feral hog management, I guess this past fiscal year, but I don't know, I don't think we used those funds. So I'm just wondering if we want to upgrade the hog traps moving forward, or if that's something that, I know we had earmarked. I'm just wondering how we would allocate said funds.
I know Mr. Sullivan was talking to Mr. Lohman on changing out the doors,
Yeah.
and I don't know how far we've gotten on that since everything's kind of slowed up after February.
Yeah, and that's fair.
Yeah.
We were, but there are much better trap doors that can be handled remotely that Eric would like to have, and I think that makes a lot of sense.
Okay. My concern is just if we don't get rain, which we haven't had rain, it's not been that long, and it's gonna get hot, it's gonna get dry. It's not gonna take them long to figure out where there's moisture and things to dig and do what they do. We may be back in the same position sooner rather than later with the feral hog population. So I'm just wondering if that's, and I don't need an answer today. I'm just wondering if those funds, if they can be allocated to improving, potentially being able to trap those things, because I don't disagree that the hog traps today we have now are pretty antique, if you will. And
I'll talk to Mr. Lohman tomorrow and find out which door he wants, and I'll get a price on it for the next meeting.
Perfect.
And I would also suggest that perhaps in the grapevine, there could be a mention about the fact that overwatering is a dog whistle for hogs.
That's a fair point. Okay. I think we can write something up to that effect. That potentially be on the lookout for feral hog activity. I don't know how you would phrase that, but I'm sure we can come up with something that's.
I think we should try to make them more aware that the more they water, the more likely they are to have feral visitors.
If, may I say something?
Sure.
If the commission would like to have something included in the grapevine this month,
Tomorrow.
the deadline
They know. They know.
Yesterday.
would be
That's fine.
tomorrow.
Okay.
Seeing as how Marissa and I have training this week, so I have to get it done earlier because I won't be in the office.
Okay.
Is there something already in the grapevine about, it getting warmer and watering, being cognizant of how much you're watering, that maybe we could just add that to?
No,
There's
there
nothing
is
in there right
not.
now.
So would anybody?
I'll try to write something tonight and get it to you in the morning.
Thank you
You're
very
the
much, Mr.
best.
Sullivan.
Perfect. Okay.
They know
Okay, so
every month.
I guess we can find out, I guess when Commissioner Sullivan gets back to us, we can figure that out next month, potentially, on what that looks like, so. But we are talking about it, and hopefully people hear that, so that we know that it's a potential problem moving forward. And I guess I would like to understand what, if that earmarked funds that we had for feral hogs, if it has been used, can it be used for improvement of the traps?
I don't think we're talking. I think we're talking under $5,000. So
Yeah, it shouldn't be a huge spend, but if it improves it and helps us trap those things better, then great, so.
You will need to make a recommendation to council, and that recommendation needs to have a dollar amount to it.
Okay. Heard, understood. I think we can do that with Commissioner Sullivan's help, obviously. Okay. Anything else about feral hog management that you want to talk about? All right. C2, Deer Management Program, discuss status and make recommendations related to if needed. So, I know that we have not trapped any deer this year, and is that correct? Okay. So we have not trapped a single deer this year, nor have we had anybody out to begin that collection process. So we have not done anything in the way of deer management this year at all. Is there anybody that wants to talk about that? I'll leave it there for a second, and then
I've seen two things on next door. One was some people complaining in Trophy Oaks that there were fewer deer. And then one person said, well, that says the city's eliminating them. Well, that we can put that to rest if they listen tonight, that we have not trapped any. And recently, somebody in, I don't know where they live in Garden Range, but found a fawn in their front yard or on their front porch. And somebody said not to call the city because we would slaughter it, and I don't think we've ever slaughtered a fawn. I really take exception to that, because those of us that have lived here long enough, we know the mamas leave their fawns all over the place. They know where they leave them, they come back, they get them at night, and then they take them. I've had them in my yard. They'll leave them during the day, they'll come during the night, and the next morning they're gone. The mamas come get them, so they're not being forsaken by their mothers. So that's just something that comes natural. Even if you look at cattle, when they have calves, the cow goes one way, usually their calf lays down, and then mama comes back and feeds it during the day. So it's just normal with our animals. So that's the only thing I've seen in social media that I get, and I don't respond to any of it, but I just have seen it on two posts, and both of them kind of upset me. So I thought just to get it clarified that we haven't done trapping, and we never have heard any fawns. So.
yeah, our trapping takes place well after the fawns are weaned off of their mothers, so yes, agreed. Any other comments about deer management? The only thing I've got is, go ahead, Commissioner.
I don't see much of a future for deer trapping if we don't have a location to put traps.
That's a fair argument, what you just brought up. Currently, we do not have a place to be able to do any deer trapping. So, for whatever side of the aisle you're on, it's good news or not. But that's the reality what we're faced with today. So, if anybody out there is willing to come to the city and have property and wants to, utilize, allow the city to put traps on there, they can come to the city and talk to us, or talk to the city, not us. But yeah, currently as it stands, we don't have anywhere to trap. So the future of deer management program for Garden Ridge is, I would say, a little up in the air. I still don't think that deters us from kind of the normal process of things, though, in my opinion, as far as doing the deer counts, understanding what our herd looks like, so that if something were to come available, or if some situation were to change, that we would at least have our ducks in a row to be able to execute or not, and make that decision as we've always stated, use the deer counts. I'm going to use deer counts. I'm not going to use deer survey. Deer counts to be able to dictate how we move forward. So we've done that the last 2 years with the help of the Texas Parks and Wildlife. Hopefully they're willing to do that again with us this year, and give us some idea of what our herd size looks like, and give us at least a direction forward. So I know that I enjoy seeing less dead deer on the road, just like everyone else. So I think our efforts to this point have been noble, and I think the numbers have reflected it. Granted, we probably have far fewer cars on the road than we've probably ever had, so it's not just indicative of our work, but maybe a combination of factors. So that's kind of my spiel, and I'll shut up from there.
Is there anything that we can do, and I don't know if this is a rhetorical question or not, but to, I guess, to respond to lies when they're put out? Because if something like that is posted, then new people who don't know what the Wildlife Management Commission is about will take that as that's what we do.
We can't respond on social media.
No, I understand we can't
Yeah,
use
if
the
we had a
social
public
media
information
forum.
officer, that would be something that they can do. Like, they could state what the ordinance is or whatever, but, so.
I mean, because that's pretty brutal.
Well, there's been a lot of things said.
Well, I know, and I know there's a lot of
It's
ill
one of many,
will.
but yes, yeah, I don't think that there's, I would love for there to be an open debate, but as y'all have seen from our political climate, I'm not sure that openly debating on a social platform is.
No, absolutely not on a social platform, but I'm just wondering if we could think about a means of reaching out to let our community know that we're supporting the community in the best way possible, the most humane way that's backed by science and, and the Parks and Wildlife recommendations, and we don't go out and slaughter innocent animals.
Well, I think the wildlife management plan, like as we allude to C3, the wildlife management plan kind of guides us and helps us and gives at least some information of what we're doing, what our methodologies are that we put together last year that I think encompasses kind of some of those truth and facts that you're talking about that are needed, but how we respond to, I think, questions that are that far off kind of the road, if you will, that are, an outlier in my opinion to most questions that are posed, are hard to encompass into like a report or even a document that you were to share. Like, yeah, we don't kill baby deer. No, and I also know that
probably 99% of people don't read the documents, maybe 95, that don't read that. So they're not going to read a 20-page Wildlife Commission document and plow through all that. And I'm just wondering if there isn't a way that we can reach out personally, if we have a, I don't know, and I know social media is
I'm
out.
sure
that's
there's a
not
way you
appropriate,
can
but-
use private direct messages if you would like to reach out to people and maybe set the record straight that isn't on a public platform that everyone can see. I don't know the legality of the rules behind that, but that
Or
seems
even-
reasonable. You can use your private direct Facebook message.
Well, no, I really don't think social media is the way, but I mean, perhaps setting up a table at the city farmers market and just briefly, this is who we are, and, in a couple sentences, this is what we do. And then we're there
I don't think we can
to talk with
do
people.
that.
I
'cause
don't,
we can't talk-
if there are any city events where we could do that. So I'm throwing that as an idea that I think that just like police need to do neighborhood policing and get to know their people that they're working with, I think we need to too, because we're put in an adversarial position, and that's not what we're here for.
We had a table ready to go for the Easter egg hunt. I think we were gonna have a table, but
Okay.
that-
Okay,
that
so-
wasn't. So I think we have been in communication with the city to be there, just to provide information. And I wanna say, did we have something at Market Days, but nobody stopped by? It wasn't specifically for wildlife? No. But we were gonna have a table at the park.
I think we've gone down that path before. It's not been as fruitful as you might expect. With face-to-face confrontation, or face-to-face interactions not being the chosen way for some folks to air their grievances. I'm not shutting you down by any means. I just don't know that there's a way that we would be able to do it other than like at community events, if that's even plausible. I don't know that, to be able to talk about commission ongoings, if you will.
Okay, I don't think hiding there's a good way to do it either.
Well, I don't know. If I could respond to everybody on social media, I would if I promised you.
It's definitely not the way to go.
I think
The grapevine?
I think one thing we can do, when I write the thing for the grapevine on the hogs, I will add a blurb about the does ready to drop their fawns, and for people to be extra careful. And if they spot a fawn, don't worry about it. Mama will be back.
Okay.
Good.
I think we have some verbiage that we used last year around this time too, if we want to pull from that.
Yeah, we do.
Okay. Any other comments about deer management? No. Okay. City Garden Ridge Wildlife Management Plan, C3, I touched on it a second ago. I know that's been accepted by City Council. Not sure if there's any adjustments or addendums or changes that want to be made to it. Okay. I assume that's why that's on there. Just bringing it up. No comments, questions, concerns? Okay. All right, C4 Parks Committee monthly meetings. I don't have an update. I have not been to a committee meeting unless
Am I live?
you're not.
Okay, I am officially off of the Parks Committee, so I don't have anything to report from the newest meeting. They had a meeting end of last week, I think it was, end of last week. I do know that they have started some beautification projects, at the park. Again, some trimming of trees, and I don't know if you've got any other information, but that's my understanding. They are specifically doing some work in the parks,
Okay.
cleanup wise, so.
Are we in charge of I know Cindy planted all those wildflowers. Is that our responsibility, or is that the parks? Like, do we need to maintain that?
No, I think the parks is handling that for the most part. I mean, I think Cindy had a lot of input, but I think the actual labor around it has kind of been divided between Cindy and volunteers and the parks.
Okay.
She's, in speaking to her as we discussed kind of this meeting, was that she still, obviously wants to volunteer, wants to be a part of the parks, wants to see the meadow Butterfly Meadows still continue to grow, which I think is great. So I think that will continue on as long as the Parks Committee decides not to mow it down. I think that's the easy answer there. And then there are some seeds that she's going to be passing along to me, which we'll have available for folks who, if and when we get back to normal, that we'll be able to pass out to residents. So I'll have those hopefully next meeting. Anything about C4? Okay. All right, ordinance 210, update on resignation of Commissioner Segovia. As we alluded to or said earlier, that Commissioner Segovia regretfully put in a resignation earlier this month or late last month. I'm not sure what the exact date was. Well, there it is, May 28th. And the city council accepted that resignation. So, with that said, there is obviously we have a position open now. And then there is some discussion around, commission chair and vice chair for the remaining term ending in October 2020. So I am acting chair currently. I was vice chair. Well, I still am vice chair, sure, yes. And I guess we need to figure out who's going to be the chair and who's going to be the vice chair. So I will volunteer myself to be the chair until October 2020. Unless anybody has that wants to say, no, I do a terrible job and they want to do it.
I make a motion to approve that volunteerism.
I second it.
Okay, so I've got a motion to approve myself, David Krasinski, for chair, ending October 2020. And I've got a second. Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Well, that motion is passed. Now we need to elect a vice chair. So, if anybody wants to volunteer, looking for one.
So do we have I don't have anything in front of me that it's a description of the vice chair's role. Can you talk about it a little bit?
The vice chair, I think the vice chair is there in case the chair is not available for a meeting, can act, kind of run this meeting, and then if I get hit by a bus, you can take over.
And if the chairman cannot be at city council meeting, then the vice chair gives the wildlife commission meeting
Update.
our update from this meeting.
So that's the job description. Not everybody all at once here. This is overwhelming me.
I nominate Commissioner Kniper.
I'll do it.
Okay. Well, you got nominated. I need a motion.
I make a motion to that effect.
So Commissioner Sullivan makes a motion to, please, I don't know what I'm
Now, put in the nomination of Commissioner Kniper,
for vice chair, right?
right? And I think he seconded it.
Okay. So I have a motion for Commissioner Kniper to take on vice chair
Second.
position. I've got a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I'm not even voting, so. Okay, that motion passes. So we have gotten 5-2 out of the way, and 5-3 out of the way. So I assume we need to make a recommendation to city council for those two changes, or does that not need to take place? Okay, perfect. Not necessary, great. Okay, so any other questions, comments, concerns about 5, 1, 2, or 3? Okay, I'm gonna make
When
one.
addressing the chairman and co-chairman, can we just say David K. and Ken K. instead of
I
trying
do
to
not
pronounce your
mind.
last name?
Yes, that's fine with me.
I do not object, it just Ken. You don't have to even use my last initial.
That sounds good. Okay, so, last, final, I appreciate Cindy Segovia's work throughout this process. She's been here, I guess the OG, one of the original, never mind, the original people on the Wildlife Commission. I appreciate all her hard work and dedication to this commission. So she is sadly missed, and hopefully she'll come back to us one day.
With that,
Yes.
can we do anything in appreciation for her?
We can give her a round of applause. No, I'm being sarcastic. I don't think there's anything we can necessarily do for her, but I think she obviously would appreciate us supporting her projects, and that one of those is that meadow in Alder's
Butterfly
Park.
Meadow.
Well, minimally a letter.
Yeah, I mean, if we want to write her a letter, I'm fine. If you want
A
to,
plaque would be sort of nice. I don't know, something more than don't let the door hit you.
we have not traditionally done that.
Okay, okay.
I'm not saying that you're wrong in suggesting that. I'm just saying from what
We
we've
can
done through-
dedicate the new hog trap door in her.
We should put a plaque on it, like a Cindy
I'm sure she would
Segovia.
love
I don't know
that.
if
Oh
she,
my
you'd have to get her
God.
permission for that one, I think.
How about naming the wildlife garden the Segovia Butterfly Garden?
That's not a bad idea.
Oh, could we do that?
Not at this meeting.
But I
And
mean,
we
if
would
that.
have to make a recommendation to city council, and the city council would have to take that up.
We need to add
For
it
the
to-
next time?
It has to be on the
Okay,
agenda.
can we put that on the agenda for
We'll
next
see
time?
what-
That's
yes.
a great idea.
Okay, we'll
That would
add,
be a wonderful way to honor her.
perfect. So, perfect transition into D, future agenda items. We'll add that one to the list. Any other future agenda items that y'all want to add?
The hog trap door would be another agenda item.
Okay, hog trap door. Yep, trap door.
I know at one point we were talking about like one of the ways they look at the health of the deer population is the amount of twins born. Is that something that they look at like now when babies are born, or do they count those later?
They're typically still with their moms when we do the counts.
Well,
But
guess
I
so,
don't
yeah.
know that we've ever, we can add that to the agenda item and talk about it.
Okay,
So if you want to talk about that, we can absolutely add it to the agenda item and we'll talk
I
about it.
don't know if it's any value added. but-
So deer health indication via twins or not. There you go. Anything else y'all want to add?
No.
Going once, going twice? Okay. So the next Wildlife Commission date, time, and location will be July 20th, 2020, at 6 PM at City Hall. And then there is a citizens' comment period at the end. I've got one citizen here who could make a comment. Nope. Okay. So it is 7 o'clock. We are adjourning the Wildlife Commission, Wildlife Management Advisory Commission meeting. Thank you.